Good morning. It is May 4th of 2023, and today we're out early morning. Beautiful morning. Blue sky. Going to be a warm day again. So we're going to see if we can go a little further with these clutches out here and on the D4, get them all back together. I got a bunch of parts pulled out of the run-amok mine and got them all cleaned up. We're going to try to get them back together and go forward from there. May the 4th be with you. Okay, what we got going on here is this is the original pressure plate and the nut that holds the throwout bearing. The throwout bearing is in really good shape. It runs around pretty nice. So we're keeping that part. But these I had to do a little bit of angle grinding and cut them apart, cut the welding, damage the threads on this hub, so we're just going to set that aside. That'll have to go down into the run-amok mine there for spare parts on another project that is better than the ones we pull off. But we did have this assembly, and I've already gone ahead and cleaned it off. I backed the nut off. That's in really good shape. The hub here is in really good shape, or the pressure plate. But this bearing is pretty rough. The carrier is fine, but the bearing is rough. So we're just going to go ahead and reuse the original one. So that'll go back down into the run-amok mine for future use. So here we got a combination of the nut, the pressure plate, and I did get a bunch of new discs here. They were rusted from a previous machine, but I cleaned them off the best I can there, get all the big pieces off. And I think it'll go in there, and it'll, by the time it starts steering around, and it'll start cleaning things up, and it'll work fine. I don't think we're going to get more than 10 or 20 hours on this whole machine in the rest of its life, so I think it's going to be just fine. So there's those pieces. Over here, these are the original steels, of which I washed all the oil off them and dried them, and they're a little bit pitted and stained, but again, they're gonna be good enough for the low hours that goes into the machine. The main hub here, this is the original hub. I got other hubs, but there's nothing wrong with this hub. And it was running loose spline to the interior splines here onto the shaft, but I don't see any excessive wear on either the shaft or the hub. So we're going to go ahead and reuse this here main hub. So we're going to go ahead and get set up here to get things in place. We're going to I think it's start with a steel fiber till we use all 8 of each up. I think there's, I have to count them again, but there's 8 fibers and maybe 8, maybe 9 steels. But they're all here. So we'll start building that, and then we'll get our bolts with our springs and keepers put in place, and we'll have to put our brake band or the brake disc over top of it there, just to align all these here teeth so they're all fitting before we lock it down with the springs. Anyway, we're going to get it all set up and then get right back to you. Little side project we got going here. Still got to work at getting this bung out of this casting for the bottom of the final drive. I got it attached to the deck via these great big lag bolts. Bought these extra there to anchor the old saw we got there, but we're going to try this out, and if this doesn't break cold, we'll just warm it up. I think we're getting her. Boy, she's on there pretty tight. we'll have to make some room here. Move the camera back so I can get the wrench in there. There, got everybody out of the danger zone. So we're clearly going to have to put a new bung in there because we tore the drive apart. But that's out of there. I should be able to find a new bung or buy one or something. I don't like buying anything, but might just have to. There, she's really in good shape. You just got to clean her up and bolt her back down to the final drive case there, and we all good. New bung in her, fill her full of oil. Okay, we got things all cleaned up, and hopefully we got these things aligned, all the teeth aligned so that they're this is going to slide over, because we've got to slide this drum over before we put the first initial springs and keepers in, just to keep that clutch pack from moving around. But we noticed on the interior splines of this hub, I don't know if we can see that very good, probably not, doesn't matter. But anyway, they do have some wear marks on the one edge, and I believe that's from this hub has been running loose on the bevel gear shaft, so it's just flopping around and it was working itself into the teeth here. But anyway, so we're going to turn this around. Hopefully this will feed back on and keep all our discs in there. That just slid on just nicely. Keep all our discs in place, and then we will start with our fancy cat design, special design tool here. We're going to start getting our springs and keepers in place. Well, we got our first spring compressed over the pin. Had to take the brake drum back off because my C-clamp here is just not deep enough to go over the flange of that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a couple of keepers in there and release this, and then we'll have to put the brake band on, just to make sure that it's still all the clutch pack is aligned.
Entourage are gonna like go.
All right.
So before it gets too hot.
Okay, because we might need somebody that doesn't shake that can see.
I need what? Sorry?
Somebody that doesn't shake that can see.
Oh, do you need me for something?
I think we're all right. We're all
You
right.
get her?
Well, no.
Okay, well.
No, we didn't get her.
Huh? Good?
You're all right to go for a walk, Connie.
This is my entourage.
Yeah. Milt says it's okay. You can go. We'll get her.
Okay.
Well, look at that. I
Okay,
think you
well
got
that
her.
took a little bit of doing, but we got that done. One of them. Now I'm just going to see if I can put my brake drum back on. Hopefully these are all still aligned. Perfect. I'm just going to turn it around to 180 so we can get directly across the other side put in. So we'll have equal, and then it should be good. Okay, now if you can get this C-clamp up into position.
Well, we won't be able to get that on there.
Oh, I guess I'm gonna pull the flange off first. All right.
Do you want me to pull that flange?
Yeah, well, just lift that off. That's right, because our clamp is not good enough. Well, I gotta get this back in. Yeah, if you just hook it over the front like this here, and then it should. Okay, now if you screw that down,
Pretty smoky in that motor.
now it'll probably hook on that pin going through the retainer washer. Oh, it's coming through. Whoa. Over there. I think that's plenty, so we'll get a couple of keepers in there. That's the one. Get one more in there. That sun really prohibitive for vision. So that's 2. And then we got 6 more to go. Okay, well, we wrestled with that there between one of us not being able to see and the other one shaking so bad. We got them all in there. Never lost any pieces. Now I'll just to confirm that that brake will fit on there. I'll just slide her over. And it fits on there real snug. Real good. So, okay, on to the next phase. Oh, maybe I can get her. There, now we can get our throwout bearing and nut on there and figure out how we're going to stake this. Slides right on there. I don't know which side is the right side, but this has a little bit of a shoulder to it, and I think that's from being squished between the body of that hub and the actual flange of the bearing, race of the bearing. And we don't have a spanner wrench that's going to fit this, so it's going to be the traditional hammer and chisel setting. Always worked for Dad on the farm.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to have to come into that. One more, maybe two. And even one more if I get this adjusted. Even got the other side. I'll go to the other side and give her a couple this way. I think that's lined up there. Now if we can just get a screw or a, I don't have the set screws. None of these came with it. I never did find one. But I'm gonna try to get something in there. If not, I'll just stake it over. I will not weld it. You know, I could probably stake it here so that, and that's exactly what I'll do. I'll just get a center punch, stake that nut into those areas there. No welding involved. There's what we got so far. We got the just peened into or staked into these recesses here. And that should be enough to hold that from backing off. Now we've got this all lined up here with super sketchy. And like I always say sometimes, it's a good thing that we're a well-equipped heavy-duty mechanic shop. We got chains and an old beam and a wooden beam and a jack and an old forklift that has no brakes. Just don't be doing any of this stuff without any female supervision, of which we got Connie over here. So we're just going to start jacking this. We want to compress that hub onto our, there we're taking some weight there. We want to press the hub onto our bevel gear axle. Feel a little bit of lumber creaking. Yeah, pretty sketchy, but we just want to push that brake pack, clutch pack onto the splines with enough force there. What do you think?
Give her another one.
Famous last words. And I don't know if this is a benefit or not, but give her a couple of taps there. Okay, we'll let the jack off. pick up on your end. I'll just pull the jack.
Okay.
Now this nut was tightened onto the hub before pressing, so we can get 1 flat, 2, 3. Got about 10 flats on that nut there, so we gained that much compression. So it worked somewhat. So now we're just going to get our big socket on there and tighten that down and get the locking ring on. We managed to get this bung out earlier this morning, and I was going to replace it, but put a little copper coat on it. The old thumb wrench gets on there and it still turns her quite nicely, so it's going to be good enough. So that's pretty much all the parts we're going to put on here today. Time to go riding. This will be the first ride of the year, May 4th of 23, and just going to run her into town. Kind of tired of working on the old D4 there. We've got a lot done today, me and Phil, but it's time to put the tools away and get on the bike and just get a little bit of wind therapy. Just going to head into town, maybe have a beer or whatever, get a couple of things, motor on back. Such a beautiful afternoon to wrap up the day, so we'll catch up to you later. Pretty short ride into town there. It's only a few kilometers, not even 20 kilometers, so made it into town, did some errands around town, then decided I'd run over to my favorite watering hole, which is the Leland Deck, and overlooks the waterfront. Perfectly calm weather out there today. The water is a mirror finish. Very few clouds in the sky, nice and warm, 20 degrees or so. So if you're ever in Nacasp, just pop into the Leland, have a beer out there. Pretty nice view.